The African continent is home to some of the most varied and spectacular biodiversity. Large predators and herds of herbivores roam the savannas while apes, birds and snakes inhabit the dense forests. But man-made devastation means many of these creatures face the serious and very real threat of extinction. Cities have grown and land has been transformed as we've wiped out entire ecosystems. The threat has never been more consequential than it is now. My name's Ben Fogle, and I'll be travelling through Africa to investigate some of these serious issues in this global fight for the survival of the species. Animal poaching and the subsequent trafficking of high-value wildlife species are serious threats to the survival and conservation of wildlife globally. It's one of the world's most lucrative criminal activities, valued at billions of US dollars annually. The motivations behind Africa's illegal wildlife trade vary depending on the type of commodities and the crime involved. But they include poverty, lack of alternative livelihoods and subsistence, traditional medicinal use as part of cultural beliefs, and the desire to flaunt wealth. Wildlife trafficking is attractive to organised crime groups because of its low risks, high profits, and weak penalties. To gain a better understanding of the issues, I'll be travelling from South Africa to Uganda. I'll meet with those that consider wildlife to be a vital part of their culture. These people are on the front line in the fight against trafficking. I'm beginning my journey in Johannesburg, the financial powerhouse of Africa. I'm in Johannesburg, and I'm on my way to a Muti market called Faraday. I'm fascinated. I've never been to a market like this ever before, and a Muti market is sort of, I suppose, my understanding, it's an alternative traditional medicine market. So out in Africa, the Sangoma are the sort of alternative medicine doctors, and they use everything you can imagine in their medicines. And when I say everything, that's what I'm about to find. So I have no idea quite how wide-ranging the flora and the fauna that they use is going to be, but certainly from a little bit of research I've done, I think I'm in for a surprise. Faraday Market is a Muti market in the heart of Johannesburg, where traditional African medicines are sold to the public. Over 100 stalls run by traditional healers prescribe traditional medicines made from animal skulls and skins, tree bark, herbs, roots, and other natural ingredients. How's it? Hey, how are you? Very good to see you.
Yes.
So what have we got here? What are you collecting?
Yeah, this one is, we call it mavumbu. Yes, for cleaning, we boil it. Mm-hmm. Then we clean.
The stomach?
The stomach, yes. Even the kidneys.
And you've got a huge selection of things here. How many different plants do you think you have?
Different plants. This one we call it extinction. Mm-hmm. Yes, you grind it and you bat with it, you steam also.
And what would this do to you?
Yeah, to protect yourself.
To protect from what?
Yeah, from the enemies. You know,
oh, from enemies?
And to be strong also.
It's incredible.
Yeah, this one.
And you've got, what about the starfish over there?
The starfish, you vomit with it. So
you vomit with it?
Yes.
So how would I consume this?
No, you grind it.
Oh, you grind it up?
Grind it up, yes.
And then drink it?
Yeah, you drink it to vomit.
To vomit?
Yeah.
To clear out my body?
Yes.
Thank you for giving me a small insight. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. Kenya.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Ben.
I'm Kanyi.
Very nice to meet you. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Wow.
Natural stuff.
I don't think I've ever really been to a market quite like this.
Wow.
Well, in Europe, most markets are for the tummy. You know,
Okay.
you're going to go and buy
Yeah, food.
fruit and vegetables, but I haven't really seen any of that here. There's some animal products,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like they're to eat. So I know this is a Muti market, but
Yes,
how would you describe to me what a Muti market is?
Firstly, it's natural herbs mostly, and then we do have some animals there and there, but mostly it's herbs.
And this is like coming to a chemist or a pharmacy.
Yes,
But
exactly.
a natural one.
A natural one.
So are you a Sangoma?
I'm a healer. I'm
healer.
not a Sangoma because a Sangoma is someone who is trained to be a Sangoma. I'm just a healer. I'm like a pharmacist, actually.
So when you look at all these, with all due respect to everything,
Yeah.
I see piles of wood.
Yes.
But everything has a
bugs,
purpose.
We have, yeah, actually, everything have a purpose, and then it depends on how you mix your traditional herbs on the situation of a person. So we use lots of things differently to each situation.
And out here in South Africa, how important are healers like yourself and the Sangoma?
We are very important because we are a built-up nation. This culture to us is the most important thing that was left for us from our forefathers. So they use herbs mostly. They use rivers. They use natural things. So it passes to one another.
Looking around the market, obviously there's a lot of it is plant-based and from trees.
Yeah.
But there are animal products as well.
Yeah, they
And
do
would you include animal products in
Yes.
your medicines?
Yes, we
What-
do.
give me some examples.
Maybe if you want to protect something, you can use the herbs, the strong herbs, and then use the strong animals together.
And what sort of animals might you use for that?
Maybe it depends on what are you protecting. Maybe a lion. Maybe
Presumably that's strength,
Yes,
is it?
a cheetah, an elephant, some big animals. It depends on what are you protecting or what mixture are you doing. And then you put animals.
Kenya, I'm starting on a journey to try and understand more about Africa in general, the culture, the uses of the flora and the fauna. Can you prescribe me a medicine to give me enlightenment so that I have a true, clear
forward.
understanding?
I will give you one. I will give you this one.
Okay.
Called Intlantla Emhlophe. It means a white lug. Yes.
And I drink it as a tea?
You drink it not as a tea, maybe warm, and then you can vomit with it. You steam with it, and then you bath with it. While you're using it, you must pray, and then you must talk
Okay.
what you want.
Kenya, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. That was a complete assault on the senses. Amazing. I've never been to a Muti market before, and I still don't really know what I saw, to be quite honest. It's there's so much to look at, and yet it's almost indecipherable unless you are there with someone who understands what every single piece of bark and piece of flora and fauna is for. It's a bit of a mystery, really. And if this is symbolic of every single city in every single country in Africa, can you imagine how many animals are being hunted and killed for traditional medicine? And here's the point that I really struggle with is, who am I to say that they shouldn't practice their traditional medicine? Because they could say exactly the same about us. They could go and visit one of our high-tech pharmaceutical plants with dozens, hundreds of scientists in white cloaks who are spending billions of pounds developing a medicine that might try and eradicate malaria. I think that's a good thing, but I'm sure they could pick holes in it. And that's what I think is fascinating about this whole journey and about trying to understand this fine balance between culture, between tradition, between heritage, and in this case, medicine. I'm heading to meet Professor Ray Jansen, the chairman of the African Pangolin Working Group, which has established itself as world leaders in the scientific research regarding African pangolin ecology, threats and traditional use. These critically endangered creatures are indigenous to Africa and Asia, and are the most trafficked animals around the globe. They're most often sold into countries like Vietnam and China, where locals consider them as delicacies, or for a traditional medicine like those I've just seen in Faraday. Last year, 97 tons of African pangolin scales, equating to over 150,000 pangolins, were intercepted on their way to Asia. All 8 species of the elusive and enigmatic pangolin, which have existed for 85 million years, are on the brink of extinction. Here, in a patch of grassland in the middle of Gauteng, seems a strange place to meet my first one. Hey Ray.
Hey Ben.
How are you? Good to see you.
Pleased to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
It's kind of an unexpected place to come and meet a pangolin.
We're in the middle of the suburbs of northern part of Joburg, so suburbia here, and we're out here to walk pangolins.
As you do.
As we do. They don't forage in captivity, so we have to walk them. So we try and find as natural a place as possible, like this, where there's a healthy population of ants, mostly ants and some termites. And the youngster we're going to meet today is Ramfi, and he's about 6 kilograms now, and he's been in our care for almost a year. And he's approaching the release age, but this is the process of him every day foraging 4 or 5 hours a day.
Wow.
And we'll go and see if we can find him.
Let's go.
Cool.
Ramfi is just one of the pangolins living here that was confiscated during illicit trade. As these little-known mammals feed exclusively on ants and termites, their natural diet is impossible to replicate in captivity. Here, surrounded by ant hills and termite mounds, they roam for up to 8 hours in guided feeding, supported by a team of devoted walkers. So this is pretty close to his natural environment.
This is pretty much ideal. What it used to be like all over the Joburg Hills 200 years ago, indigenous bush, natural environment, and this is where they find their favoured ant food types.
That's amazing. It's the first pangolin I've ever seen, live pangolin.
So we'll just keep our voices down.
Sure. So tell me a bit about him.
So he's a young male. He's around about 6 kilograms now.
Yeah.
He came in from the illegal wildlife trade when he was about 1 kilogram old. So he's foraging now. This is natural behavior, phenomenal sense of smell.
Right.
Even 30, 40 centimeters below the surface of the earth, they can pick up an ant nest and a chamber with eggs, and so that's his favorite.
How many ants might he get per
We don't
site?
really know, but he can take in, 200-300 grams, which is a couple of thousand ants.
No way.
Yeah.
Just
And
incredible. Wait, can
every
we follow
day.
him a bit?
Yeah.
And presumably the scales, which are so covetable, this is what they use for protection.
Sure. So not only protection against predators.
Which is what predates them?
A natural predator will be something like a leopard, a lion, and a hyena, although they won't succeed in an adult pangolin. A hyena may, because of the sheer power of the jaws. But lion, leopard can't kill a pangolin. Their greatest predator is man, which is a completely unnatural predator. And at the level that we trading in pangolins at this stage, they'll probably last maybe 2 more decades.
That's it, 20 years.
Yeah.
So it will literally roll into a ball with it?
Yeah. Roll into a ball, grab his back feet with his hind feet, and you can't prize them out. They're very powerful front limbs. Yeah.
So why are pangolins persecuted so much?
Yeah, unfortunately, they're one of those creatures that are used heavily for traditional medicine, for both medicinal reasons and mythical reasons, spiritual reasons. Things like warding off evil or to cure nosebleeds or whatever, and it goes back into Asian culture many thousands of years. And the problem with culture is it's heavily in depth in people's livelihoods. And to take your culture and say pangolins are worthless within your culture is a very difficult thing. The 4 Asian species are now so rare that just like the Asian rhino being rare, they're coming for the African rhino. And because the Asian pangolins are so rare, they're coming for the 4 African species.
Are they just poached for their scales?
No, not at all. In places like Vietnam, they're a delicacy. $2,000 a plate. Pangolin fetus soup is on the menu in Vietnam. They're also eaten in Africa, but naturally in the bushmeat trade. But now that commodity chain has changed, where they used to just be eaten as bushmeat and now actively hunted for their scales for the Asian market. So they're on a very fine timeline, I'm afraid.
I've seen out here the work you have to do to feed a pangolin that's being kept in captivity.
Yeah.
I assume they can't be habituated, they can't be farmed.
Well, we don't know if they can be farmed. Like most mammals, you probably could breed them in captivity, but we'd strongly recommend that that shouldn't be the case, because then you'll never be able to release a captive pangolin and a pangolin that's brought up on artificial diet. It's so habituated to humans, it'll find comfort in humans and then just be poached. And ethically it's incorrect. What we need to do and focus on is keeping them in their natural habitat, looking after their habitats, stop logging processes, stop oil palm farming, and that's where they belong, you know. In southern Africa, the Temi's ground pangolin is found in the natural bushveld and the Kalahari regions, and all up through East Africa, Kenya, right up into northern Chad. So although it's quite widespread, they're very, very rare on the ground, and very few people see them. The majority of the world's population hasn't seen a live pangolin. Like you today have seen your first pangolin. I hadn't until about 10 years ago, and then you know, you realize the plight of these incredible animals, these peaceful, harmless mammals. It's just amazing.
What's the answer?
The youth. I think, like we're fighting with rhino horn, I don't think we're ever going to curb that trade. The youth and the Asian youth need to accept that once they're gone forever. We can't carry on using something to the point that it's completely gone. We have to start worrying about them right now. And for the sins of the fathers, the youth have to inherit this and fight the fight on our behalf.
It's amazing to finally see a pangolin in 20 years of coming to Africa. This is the first time I've ever seen one of these guys. Now, it's sad that this is one effectively in captivity, although it gets to actually forage in this wild environment. But terrifying to think that without our help, these guys might only have 20 years left on this planet. The hospitalisation, specialist treatment and rehabilitation programme are run by the Johannesburg Wildlife Veterinary Hospital in collaboration with Ray and APWG. Dr. Karen Lawrence and Nikki Wright, an independent wildlife rehabilitation specialist, care for wildlife at the hospital before they're rehabilitated and released back into the wild. I've been invited to meet a female pangolin who was rescued from the illegal trade.
We've got a beautiful female pangolin, a Temminck's ground pangolin, who was confiscated off the trade about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And she's pregnant. She's an adult, mature female, and she's pregnant, yeah. Her baby's about that big. So what we're going to do today is just take her out of her box and weigh her. And then we're going to be taking some blood just to check that everything's working properly and put her telemetry on. Okay. She's almost ready for release. Pangolins are very, very strong. So
I was going to say
these boxes made, which I've tested out on honey badgers, so they are really strong.
Oh, look. There she is.
There she is, yeah.
Wow, in a ball. So how do you handle a pangolin?
Carefully.
Carefully.
They're pretty strong. She weighs almost 10 kgs, so she's quite heavy. And also she just woken up, so she may be a little bit crotchety, as one can be. So, yeah, we're going to pick her up. Come on, sweetheart.
There she goes. So over to the scales.
Yeah, I'll walk over to the scales.
Shall I close that for you?
You can do, or you can leave it open.
There we go. Hello, girl.
Look at her little fat feet.
Look. Hello. Look at her. Isn't she? Oh, she's stretching. Okay, so you're just going to pop her on the scale. Is it quite important that you monitor
her weight?
All of this?
Yes, it is.
Check she's eating enough.
Exactly. Whoops. She's 9.36.
And you have to take blood from her as well, do you?
So we're going to take her into the operating theatre, and Dr. Corinne Lawrence is going to anaesthetise her, and then we'll take blood so that we can run tests and see how she's doing. And we're going to put her telemetry tag on today as well. because her release is imminent.
Really? So how long? Tell me a bit about exactly where you rescued her from then.
Well, she was confiscated in Limpopo province during a sting operation. So there were 2 poachers that were trying to sell her, and a sting operation was set up, and she was confiscated, and the 2 guys were arrested. And so she went to a vet up there for stabilisation, who we work with, and then came down to us for the rest of the rehab process.
She'll give birth here and then be released?
No, she's going to be released. Yeah.
Before her birth?
Yes, yeah. We want her settled in a nice habitat and being monitored through the telemetry before she gives birth. We want everything nice and settled for her. And
when you talk of telemetry, you basically mean a tracking device so you can keep an eye on where she is?
That's right, yes. So we attach 2 telemetry tags to each pangolin. One of them is a VHF device, which has been specifically designed to fit onto them, and the other one is a satellite device. So we're covered for all eventualities because they move a lot, and they can cover vast distances in a night. So they can go out of your VHF range. So the satellite telemetry then gives you a general area of where they are, and then you can hone in with the VHF. So after putting all this work and effort into them, we don't want to lose them on the sort of 3rd night of their release.
Of course not. Should we take her through to the vet?
Yes, let's do that. Come on, sweetheart.
I'd offer to help you carry her, but I think you've got better pangolin carrying skills than me. Depending on their species, pangolins are usually pregnant for 69 to 150 days, and they give birth to only 1 baby. Nikki and the team intend to see this pangolin back into the wild before she gives birth. So Karen, working here, I suppose you never quite know what you're going to have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
That's probably one of the reasons why I opened this practice with Nikki, because it's a new thing every day. It's interesting and exciting.
So what are we doing with this girl now?
Normally when we get them in, we do blood tests on them just to make sure they're okay. Often when they come in from the trade, they've not eaten for 7 to 10 days, they've not had water, so they're dehydrated, they have kidney issues and failure, are very thin. Luckily, it seems like she wasn't with the captors too long. The blood tests were quite normal the first time we did it. So.
Okay. And you can't take a blood test with them being fully conscious?
No. When they roll into a ball, it's impossible to get them open. Not even a lion can get them open. So us puny humans trying it is also not going to happen. So what we do is we gas them. We use isoflurane gas. It's what they use for humans, most other animals. She is pregnant. This gas is safe for fetuses and things. They use it when they do cesareans on animals, so it's very safe. And then, because we use the tail vein or the coccygeal vein to take blood from, because it's not very much easy to get into a vein that they use for people.
I mean, to see I feel really privileged to see a pangolin this close. Look at these feet; they're like little elephant feet.
Yeah, tiny little dinky.
You obviously give her a full once over as well?
Yes. We weigh her, we make sure her hydration is normal, we check her eyes, we check her ears, but she's actually in quite good condition. Oftentimes when they're very thin, this goes in all the way. So because she's got a nice layer of fat, it's good.
Biotelemetry, including very high frequency and GPS tracking, is a widely used technique for collating information regarding spatial ecology, habitat preferences, activity patterns, and species survival rates that are otherwise difficult to observe in the wild. For this female, it means she can be tracked when she gives birth. So this is the telemetry.
This is the satellite tag.
Yeah. I mean, it looks, if I'm to be honest, it looks quite large.
It is quite a bulky piece of equipment, but we won't put this on a pangolin under 8 kilograms. Okay. So it mustn't form any more than about 3-4% of their body weight. This is less than 2% with both tags on.
And you've obviously done this many times. Does it inhibit them when they're foraging naturally?
Not at all. So they'll go down burrows, and they have to be quite rugged, these units, to handle a pangolin. They go into rocky caves, they go into burrows, they go into earth holes. So many times the tags actually get destroyed by the pangolins, but they don't inhibit the pangolins' movements or foraging behaviour or any such.
So just a household drill?
It's a household drill with a wood drill bit.
Yep. Looks slightly gruesome, but it's like going through a nail, is it?
It's just clipping your nails.
Very thick nails.
Very thick nails. So This part of the scale is dead, like the end of your fingernail.
Yep.
There is a living part of the scale that's more in there.
Yep.
But this has got no feeling whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like rhino horn.
And what kind of information are you going to get from tracking? Is it merely keeping an eye on where they are?
No, not at all. So we'll know what type of burrows they use. We'll know their movement behaviour. We'll know their territories and home ranges. And if we are following a pair, we'll know courtship behaviour as well.
These trackers last just over 12 months before the onboard batteries die out. Tracking this globally threatened mammal allows conservationists to gather vital information over long periods, helping them to understand and ultimately protect the pangolin. I mean, an astonishing opportunity to be able to walk with a pangolin and to see a creature that has evaded me for nearly 20 years. I've been coming to Africa, to various countries, and today I saw my first pangolin. Now, the sad part of that is that here was a pangolin that had to be rescued. It was going to end up either in a Muti market or for bushmeat, probably both, in fact. But there are organisations like this that try to intercept that. Now, I've visited Muti markets. I understand the cultural importance that traditional medicine still holds across Africa, but I've also seen the impact it has. But here are animals that have been saved, and it's a stark reminder that there is a huge pressure as the population grows, especially here on the African continent, across all of the nations. It's reaching proportions that are simply unsustainable. And while we like to think that we can hold on to our cultures, our heritage, our traditions, that, when balanced with a population that's doubling, tripling, quadrupling, is unsustainable. We can't do it with food. We can't do it with habitat. So I don't think we can do it with traditional medicine. Departing South Africa, I'm now heading to Uganda. Uganda is situated in the region of the African Great Lakes and hosts a rich biodiversity. Uganda is considered to play a major role as a hub for illegal wildlife trade, with crime syndicates organising the collection of ivory and other high-value wildlife products from cities like Kampala. I'm meeting with Deputy Director of the Uganda Wildlife Authority. The UWA manages multiple national parks and wildlife reserves. One of their roles is the protection of thousands of wildlife species, which they're trying to achieve by addressing some of the driving forces behind wildlife crime. Charles, it's the million-dollar question, the solution. How do we find this balance between man's needs, wildlife's needs, greed, corruption, development, progress?
Indeed, it is a multi-million-dollar question with no specific answer, but what we are doing in Uganda to address this is, one, we've realized that we need to build the capacity of the staff of Uganda Wildlife Authority through training, through equipping them to be able to manage the threats that we are facing. But two, working with partners. We have Uganda Conservation Foundation, for example, as one of the partners that has come up to help us recover the population in Murchison Falls. They have helped us to set up ranger posts. They have helped us to train our people in marine, in the rangers in leadership. And now we are going into the communities to see what can we do with the communities to improve their livelihood so that they can support conservation. So we hope that in the coming years, we should see better wildlife, we should see tourism booming, we should see improved relationship with the communities and improved conservation in Uganda.
Many in the conservation community in Africa and beyond question whether governments across Africa, and in this case in Uganda, are really serious about what they say, or whether they're just paying lip service to it. Are they serious? Is the Ugandan government really serious? Are they putting their money where their words are?
The government is very serious. First of all, the government has increased the national parks that we had. We initially had 3, they are now 10, so that means that they are supporting conservation. But also in terms of the interventions that we are putting in place, they are all supported by the government. We've now introduced sniffer dogs, detector dogs at the airport. These are able to detect and sniff any cargo that is leaving the country. The Uganda Revenue Authority has installed scanners. Just last week, we were able to get a consignment of ivory hidden in timber through the scanners of Uganda Revenue Authority. So there is synergies, but there is a lot of government support to ensure that conservation in Uganda and tourism are at its best.
As you can see, I'm inching my way through Kampala's notoriously slow traffic, and I'm on my way to meet Patrick from the NRCN. This is the specialist crime unit who investigates and tracks down those involved in the shady underworld of poaching. The UWA has a huge task, and working with other partners is critical to their success. The Natural Resources Conservation Network is a non-governmental organisation based here in Kampala. So Patrick, the first thing I want to know is what the NRCN is and what they do.
NRCN is a local NGO, a local non-governmental organisation that is registered in Uganda, working hand in hand with local and international partners to combat wildlife crime in Uganda and globally.
Uganda's been highlighted as one of the weak spots in Africa for the illegal wildlife trade. Why is that?
That's correct. I think from the Bangkok CITES Convention, we as Ugandans then had to come up to challenge this kind of position. Why is it that Uganda, among all the countries in Africa, why is Uganda being used as a weak spot, for taking over these wildlife products to other countries? So as NRCN, we then have to think around the challenges that the country faces. Why Uganda was being listed as a country is because we have a very weak and lenient laws as far as wildlife trade is concerned, illegal wildlife trade is concerned.
And when you say you don't have very tough sentencing, let's say I was caught at the airport with some illegal rhino horn, what would be my sentence?
In such sentences, probably they could be like 2 months or 3 months or
Really?
6 months.
2 months is nothing for something like that.
2 months is so.
What do you think would be fair?
As NRCN, our role has been to encourage and to sensitize the legal fraternity on the importance of wildlife, given the fact that if you look at the story of Uganda, tourism is the #1 revenue earner for the country. So we've gone ahead to educate the legal fraternity, the importance of wildlife, what it contributes to the country, and therefore the value of these wildlife products, say, for example.
And what about the wider population of Uganda? Do you think there is an understanding of the value of the wildlife here?
I think the understanding is a bit of a challenge, and as NRCN, as a committed team of locals, of Ugandans, we are going ahead to educate our communities on the importance of wildlife. So, for example, communities living around the park areas, we're trying to educate them, tell them why they have to preserve these animals that are getting almost extinct, and yet we receive tourists who are investing heavily in Uganda to protect these very same endangered species.
But this is all very well until money is offered by perhaps slightly more organised sides of the illegal wildlife trade, and the temptation for locals to go and kill an animal becomes too tempting.
The illegal wildlife traders are very organised. These are heavily funded people. So it's really upon us, the locals, to try and push it out to our colleagues that, $1,000 being offered to you for an elephant is not worth it. Trying to discourage them from taking those small tokens from the traffickers is really the role that we're trying to play out there.
It still strikes me, though, that maybe the people who are prosecuted and persecuted the most are those who have the least, who were forced to do it, and that those who are actually the puppeteers are still getting away with it?
I think with our collaborations, we're doing quite a lot. It's something, again, I can share with you, but I'm certain that as we move on into our work, more and more people that are engaged in this kind of work get noticed and finally
Brought to justice.
brought to justice.
Conservation in Uganda primarily focuses on the country's protected areas. The largest protected area is Murchison Falls and covers a combined area of 5,056 square kilometres. It also contains the impressive River Nile, a vital resource for people, the land and wildlife. But while the Nile is a source of food for people and animals and attracts valuable tourist revenue, it also provides a route for poachers to move along, killing animals for bushmeat and ivory and threatening the livelihoods of local fishing communities.
What we're looking for now actually is all illegal activities.
All illegal
activities that are done in this water.
Okay.
We have fishing that is done, and we have other people who come for poaching. They come close to the river with their hunting materials to kill the hippos.
To kill the hippos?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it was just fish. So people will actually come down here to kill a hippo?
Kill hippos, yeah.
For the meat?
For the meat, yeah.
A lot of meat on a hippo?
A lot of meat. So once we are doing our patrols, we check both the fishing in the water, and we go outside the water to check on whether we can get some traps that are laid by these people for trapping the hippos.
How do they hunt a hippo?
In most cases, hippos here, they use wire snares and spears. Yeah, they set wire snares. Then once it's trapped in the wire snare, they come with their spears and then spear it. This is what we have.
Crocodiles as well?
Yeah, crocodiles as well. With crocodiles, they set the wire snares around where they lay their eggs, actually, where they pass.
So how do you spot how would you even go about finding a snare or looking for a spot where they might be hiding?
We have some areas where it's accessible. When you go out, you move outside. You park your boat, and then go outside and try to check around.
Okay.
We have areas where we suspect people to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you always do this during daylight? Do you go out after dark as well?
We have both operations, the day operations and the night operations.
Okay.
Yeah. You can see this is part of the fishing boats that we destroyed some few days ago.
So you found these and then you destroyed them?
Yeah, we found them. But what they do is they pick and hide in the bushes.
Right.
Yeah, after fishing, they pick the boat and hide in the bushes. And when you get it from there, you bring it down here and destroy it.
How often do you find boats like that?
Always in our patrols, we always get.
You always get?
Yeah, we always
So
get
you
at
find
least
the boats?
one, you get two. Yeah.
Find lots of nets?
Yeah, we also get nets.
And how often will you find animals that may have been killed, whether it's hippos or maybe elephants that have come down to the river?
Once in a while, we come across some of these incidences where they even set the wires for the hippos and they kill hippos.
If they kill a hippo, that's a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat. Yeah.
How do they smuggle it away?
They use the boat.
Okay.
And in most cases, at times very late at night, where they try to pass through the ferry landing, because we have our patrols, our guards there who keep monitoring. But at times they sneak and pass.
So you'll pass information to the land patrols?
Yeah, we'll pass the information to the land patrols.
Okay. The combating of illegal activities in the parks has become more effective, with the UWA destroying numerous traps and wire snares and arresting many poachers. While the rangers are doing good work here, I'm eager to find out more. I'm curious to understand the government's input and what results are being achieved. I hope to find the answers at base camp, where the ranger commander is going to answer some of my questions. Hello, Eric. Very good to see you.
I'm okay.
So, Eric, first of all, how big is Murchison National Park?
When we talk of Murchison Falls National Park, first of all, I want to make you understand that Murchison Falls protected area is a big area.
Okay.
Like we have 4 protected areas under this same system. So in totality, the areas have over 5,000 square kilometers.
That's a huge area. So how many rangers do you have to patrol that whole area?
That one, roughly about 305.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, what sort of training do they have? For me to look at everyone, it looks quite militaristic.
Yes.
Is it almost a military operation here?
Indeed, when you look at the history of this country, that's why you are seeing them, they're almost like military, and indeed we are a paramilitary institution. You know, it started way back. We have been in war at several stages, and then the nature of poaching kept changing from traditional things using spears, arrows, to assault rifles. So over time, we realized we could not be rudimentary in order to counter poaching coming from outside. That is why out of the government, now the government realized we need to be fully equipped to be like military. And indeed, as I talk now, we have really professionalized the force. Indeed, what you have seen is what we are. We are equipped to counter what is coming from outside.
Without giving away too much of your surveillance techniques, what kind of patrols do you do?
Here we have 3 areas that we do. We have land patrol, and then we have marine or water patrol, because we have a section of river, which is about 80 kilometers cutting from the eastern side going west, plus the surrounding rivers and lakes around. And then we have air patrol.
What happens to the ivory or the traps or the materials that you find or confiscate?
When we are talking of those 2 things, ivory is a little bit different from the traps. Traps, wheel traps, or even the assault rifles, whatever we get in the field, we handle them in a little bit different way, and even ivory. But most of them, when we get them inside the park here, we confiscate them, arrest the perpetrators, we bring the suspects, we take them to court for prosecution, and then the implements like the wheel traps, the wire snares, all of them we have a store in the armory where we put them there. And over time, it's coming to 2 to 3 years, we have over about 4 tons of
4
these things,
tons.
yes. And I think from here, if you have time, you can have a look at them. You will see what the stockpiles we have there.
I think what you're saying, that the Ugandan government does take this seriously.
Yes. Actually, it is coming from government. Say, even at the airport, we have a special unit at the airport. You cannot penetrate outside there. We have the Kenat unit fully, and they are based in Entebbe. Every day there at the airport, all points, and the president of this country, His Excellency, the president of this country, has given order for this canine unit to access all parts of the port in order to try to combat these illegal activities. And then there's another, we call it a natural resource conservation project, which is also doing a lot of work. They are like attached, okay, they work hand in hand with Uganda Wildlife Authority. And these are lawyers. You find them, they're moving and they're arresting things like pangolin, scales, trafficking, and the ivory we are talking about, these chameleons and these other unique things, they are arresting them, many of them. And we have cases in these other surrounding prosecution areas within this area. So we have really professionalized the unit. Okay, the security within Uganda Wildlife Authority for the good of the wildlife. And that is why we talk of wildlife population boom in this park. Yeah, we are moving on. We are professionalizing these things. And I want to see the child I produce grow. And then as I moved out, I would love to see it going up. And when I talk in my whole age, I say, yes, when you hear that thing, don't forget about me. My name is there.
Eric,
so that is what I would...
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
So, Julius, this is what you call the armory?
Yeah, this is the armory where we keep exhibits that are recovered from poachers.
Are these all traps?
Quite a number of things. Yeah, these are all traps.
I mean, there must be thousands and thousands.
Yes, these are thousands and thousands of traps. Here you can see these are the metal traps, and if you see this side, we have...
Those are all the snares.
The snares.
This is overwhelming. There's so much stuff. So,
yes.
Ivory?
Yeah.
How recent was that?
This is 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. You can see it's still fresh and it's drying.
And that's an old elephant.
This is an old elephant.
How old do you think that would have been?
This is an adult. I think it could be about 30 to 35 years old.
And do you know how it was killed?
This was killed as a result of a snare that caught the trunk, and then finally it ended up killing it.
How the poacher that killed this elephant, how much might they get for doing that work?
Locally here, a kilogram of ivory goes for between probably $100.
So $100?
Yes.
And that's on the international market?
Yeah.
That's on the international market, it's going to go for a lot more than that?
It's a lot more in the international market. So like this could be about between 27 to 33 kilo kgs. I'm just guessing this.
Yeah.
We've not yet weighed it. So it's quite
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Pretty sobering, really, especially seeing in the armory all of those traps. This is obviously a symbolic burn. It's some fishing nets that they just don't want to recirculate in the community. It's pretty easy for someone to pick up a fishing net. It looks pretty innocuous. The poaching traps in there are a whole different level. Hideous, nasty snares to inflict pain, to inflict suffering and ultimately death. And to see that huge pile and realize that that is about 4 years worth from this one region of one country in Africa. Can you imagine if we put all the traps that have been confiscated Africa-wide together? I think we'd probably fill a couple of football pitches, and those are just the ones that are found. So it's slightly depressing when you see the mountain, the mountain that these guys have to climb, but also it makes me happy to know that there are people like Julius and Eric and trained people who are fighting this war. And if what he says, that the Ugandan government is taking this seriously enough to be putting money where their mouth is and to be financing 300 rangers like this to do their work, then I think we're heading in the right direction.